Hello and welcome to today's video. Today we are talking about my 10 lipsticks that I would keep if I had to keep only 10 from my entire collection. So this video is inspired by Kat from, I'm gonna horribly mispronounce this because my mouth just can't make these sounds all together. KitschSnitch, I think is the way she says it. I actually don't know because I never hear her say her channel name a lot, but I love Kat. She is, she has her own channel, but she's also a part of the beauty news duo. And so this is based off of her. I saw her video. She did the same video where she went through her lipsticks and she picked out the kind of 10 that she would need to keep if she had to pare it down to just 10. She did have some honorable mentions, so I also picked out some honorable mentions, but these videos were ultimately inspired by Annette's makeup corner, I think it is, and Annette's video. So I will have both of their information linked down below, and I will have her, the Keep 10 lipstick video linked in my cards somewhere. So like I said, what we're gonna go through today is my 10 lipsticks that I would absolutely could not live without, and that would be like, if I had to pare it down, these would be the ones that I would keep. So like any good basic individual, I would have a good range of neutrals, and then I have a couple pops of colors. So what I'm gonna do is show you my neutrals first. So for me, this one was a no-brainer. I've talked about this a ton on my channel. This is Bite Beauty in the shade Caramel. Like I said before, I don't know if this shade is coming back because Bite Beauty did recently decide to reformulate, but this is like my perfect nude color. It's got this warmth in it, and I will try to do some swatches, and if I have any photos or anything with where I'm wearing these, I will insert clips and stuff, but this is just such a gorgeous lipstick. I love that brown undertone in it. I think it's so flattering for my skin tone, and this is something that when I don't want to think about, like especially if I have like a very bold eye look and I don't want to even think about what lipstick I'm gonna wear, what will make me feel comfortable in that bold eyeshadow, this is the one I typically reach for. So I absolutely could not resist putting this guy in here. It's so creamy and beautiful too. Like I just love this lip color so much. The next one is another one that I know that when I run out of this, both of those, like that one and this one, I may not be able to get my hands on some of these, but I love these colors so much that I would literally haul this into like Ulta or Sephora, and I would just swatch until I found the closest thing possible to it. So this is Savoir Faire from the Lorac Beauty and the Beast collection, and this one has slightly a more orange undertone to it, but I love this shade. It's so gorgeous. It's such a beautiful orangey brown kind of tone, and I just think that like in the fall especially, it gives me, I love wearing warm toned eyeshadows, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So in the fall it's the perfect like nude lip for me, but also just in general, anytime that I am wearing something really warm in tone, this is the one that I reach for, which is pretty often. And you may not be surprised by my next pick if you kind of know my lipstick preference. So like these are pretty opaque and full like color payoff kind of lipsticks, but if I'm being honest, I really enjoy a lip product that I can just slap on without even looking, and it's just so easy to wear. I can wear it all day long, and like literally the ease of being able to pull it out, put it on, and not worry about how much it may have bled all over the place. This is that lip color for me. This is the shade Glossy Fawn from L'Oreal. This is their Color Riche like line, so it's one of their shiny formulas, and it's right there. And again, it's got that warm undertone to it. This to me is such a beautiful nude lipstick, and it's just easy, kind of effortless to wear. So I would want this formula because it provides something very different from these guys. These are way more opaque in color and a little bit more dramatic, where this is so natural and beautiful, and I couldn't do without this kind of formula in my collection. And out of those kind of softer formulas, this is my favorite like color. To go along with that kind of ease of effort and like easy to wear kind of looking color, the next one would be Buxom in the shade Hot Toddy. This is a beautiful gloss, and I actually really enjoy the Buxom formula, so this was kind of a no-brainer for me. Honestly, the one I had to think about was whether or not to include this shade or the other shade, and I'll talk about those kind of honorable mentions in a second. But this shade Hot Toddy, and again, it's that warm undertone, and this is something that sheers out. I could wear this gloss even though it looks very like full color, like it would be like very dark in the tube. It's actually a very sheer lip gloss, and I would feel comfortable putting over any of these here and like wearing it because it wouldn't really change. It doesn't have to change the color of lipsticks that much. So this one was a good one to put in my opinion, and this is one, when I finish this little guy, I've kind of been using it so sparingly and slow because I don't want to have to go out and buy another one, because this is a color that I honestly couldn't do without. It's got that warm, beautiful, easy to wear undertone, and it's a beautiful lip product all around. Okay, and one more in the like easy to wear category, but this offers the like a different color from like this little range here. This is the Frog Prince lipstick from, is it like Lipstick Queen? Yeah, I think so. It's not gonna look like much on my hand here, but it's swatched here, but on my lips, it's so easy to wear because it literally wears or feels like a balm, but it's that color changing kind of formula. So when I put it on my actual lips, which has more pigment in my like skin than like right here on my hand, it turns out this kind of very cool tone-ish mauve-y kind of pink color, and it's such a beautiful, beautiful color. So this is one that I definitely couldn't do without. This is when I want a lipstick that is like more cool tone mauve colored, this is the one I go for. So this would kind of be my one cool tone lipstick. I'm kind of shocked to say that, but I think I would be okay if this were it for the kind of cool tone mauve leaning color. This would be okay for, because I don't wear those colors all the time, and this I think is so diverse and it can work with so much that this would be the one I choose. And my last neutral here that I want to talk about is actual liner. This is Hush Hush, or it's a lip crayon kind of thing from Buxom in the shade Hush Hush. So this is a very dark kind of color, but this is such a beautiful, I was panning the mini guy of this last year, and I just fell head over heels in love with this. A lot of times I would wear it simply like all over my lips and just maybe throw on like a balm or something over the top or a gloss over the top. And I found this to be incredibly usable and just like a product that ended up being a staple for me last year. And I love this product so much, so I became pretty attached to it. So this is why this is landing in my like must keep 10 item kind of area. Okay, so that is my neutral kind of selection here. You can kind of see that pink has deepened up just a little bit. So imagine that on top of like some of the pigment that's already in your lips. Now let's move into, I'm keeping 4 pops of color here. I'm very excited about the ones I've kept. So the first one is the one I'm wearing, which is Troublemaker from Too Faced. Again, I don't know if this is a shade that you can buy anymore. I kind of doubt it because I found this at TJ Maxx a long time ago, and it is a little bit of a finicky lipstick in that it's a very dry formula, so it's a little hard to apply, but when I get it on, it does stay, and it's such a beautiful color. And since I already like have it, I'm wearing, I'll give you a little swatch, but it's, like I said, it looks dry, but I think this pink really works with whatever. I don't know what about this pink works with my coloring, but I feel very comfortable in it. And I think pink bold lips are kind of a little bit more easy to wear than like purples and stuff like that. So we'll get into those, some of those alternatives, the honorable mentions in a second, and I'll show you what I mean, why I chose this over some of the other ones I chose. Next up is a color that I knew immediately when I was thinking about this. I was like, oh, I have to have a brown. And this is my favorite brown in my collection right now. This is Très Chic from, again, the Lorac Beauty and the Beast collection. And I just love, I'm such a 90s gal, and I love how brown looks on me in the fall especially. I don't wear it a ton unless it's the fall, but it makes me, if I feel so confident in just kind of like a light smoky eye and like a dark brown lip. I love that look so much. To me, it feels so much more comfortable and looks so much better than wearing like deeper nudes for whatever reason. I don't know why, but I love this brown so much, and I definitely could not do without like a nice solid brown option in my collection. And my last two, if you can imagine, and you know me, you probably know what color category this is coming out of, but I definitely need 2 reds in my collection. So one of these is a blue tone or more neutral leaning red, and this is Matte 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 06 in the shade, what is the shade? Kiss Me If You Can from Essence. And this one is such a shock to me. I think last year I would have put in one of the other guys that I'm gonna talk about, but this is a lips product that I've fallen in love with. It's doing it no justice here on my hand. Like I'm telling you, on the lips, it's so bold and beautiful, and like this like blue kind of leaning red, but almost neutral red, and it's just so flattering on me. So I really, really, really am so impressed with this lipstick formula from Essence, especially this shade. I can't believe it, but it one of my old favorites. I picked that one over it, and I'll show you in a minute what I'm talking about. Then my last red color that I would pick is my new current obsession when it comes to red lips. This is the Villains Collection Cruella lipstick, and this has such a strong orange undertone, and it's so beautiful. So quick shout out, the packaging is just stunning, but even more stunning is this like orange undertone to it. Such a gorgeous shade, and it looks so flattering on me. There is I have a runner-up in here that's very similar to it, but this has just a little bit more red in it than one of the other ones I'm going to show you. So let's go ahead and transition into talking about my honorable mentions. I'll work from colorful back to neutral again. So one of those, like I was saying, this orangey red here is slightly more orange, but I think if I had to choose, I would get more use out of the one that has more red tones in it. So this is a L'Oreal lipstick in the shade Madly in Love, and it's gorgeous. I've raved about this. I love it. Like, don't get me wrong, I love it, but I just think this one's slightly easier to wear because it has a little bit more red in the undertone, whereas this one on my lips looks very orange. That's kind of my main push to putting the other one in instead of this one if I only had to keep 10. Thank goodness I don't have to keep 10 and I get to keep this one because I do love this lipstick so much. But yeah, if I had to pick one, it would just nudge out the other one. So the other red was the Very Cherry from Maybelline. This one was like my first real red lipstick that I fell in love with. So this one's been in my collection way too long probably, but I'll show you. This is its swatch right here. It has a little bit more of that pink undertone to it, where this one is like more of like a true red undertone. So yeah, that is ultimately why I said, you know what, I think I'm gonna put the Essence one in there because I think it's a little bit just more true red, where this one can lean, if I'm not careful, if I don't wear the right things, it can almost look like a pink raspberry red, and I wanted more of like a real true blue toned red, so something to differentiate from that like orangey red. So I think those two give me the best options, but these two are also just gorgeous, stunning lip products, and I do love them a lot. And the last pop color that I considered putting in that I ultimately ended up going with the pink over this because the pink just felt a little bit more wearable. This is another Maybelline lipstick in the shade Vibrant Violet. Sorry, I'm horrible at swatching because I'm using my non-dominant hand to do it. But here we go. This is such a gorgeous purple. The only thing about this though is I will say that it's a little bit more patchy, and I think that's just true with like these purple formulations. They're a little bit harder to make, but this is such a bold, like standout color, and I do love it. I just think that the pink is ever slightly so more like wearable for me more often. So that's why I ended up in the top 10 versus this one just landing in the honorable mention category. This is a gorgeous lipstick altogether. Okay, let's quickly go through some honorable mentions from the nude category. So like I said earlier, my favorite formula is that really like kind of sheer lipstick formula. I don't know what it is. I love the way it looks on my lips, and I also just love the ease of being able to apply it. So the one that was almost, it didn't quite edge out because I don't prefer this color over the Glossy Fawn one from L'Oreal. This is Varnished Rosewood. I'll swatch it right below it. It's more of that mauve-y undertone, but again, I just prefer that. I just prefer that shade to this shade, and then this color to that color. So that is, it's a gorgeous lip product, and I'm so glad I own it, but at the same time, if I had to pick 10 only 10 to keep, this one wouldn't quite make the cut because I prefer that other color just slightly more. And two more that I would throw in that same category. These are from Revlon. One is in the shade HD Sand, and then the other one is in the shade HD Desert. And honestly, the reason why I didn't put these in right here, they're swatched over the L'Oreal formula, is that one, I'm not sure that these are available to purchase anymore. I want to say they might be discontinuing this line. I hope not, but then again, I've seen these everywhere turn up in like discount stores and kind of stuff. So I was like, well, L'Oreal's easier to get your hands on. Plus, I do think the L'Oreal formula has just slightly more pigment to it. Like, I really kind of went over that, built that swatch up right there. But these are really beautiful, and this is actually the first kind of lipstick formula like this, the sheer color that I ended up trying that made me fall in love with it and made me actually reach out and buy the L'Oreal ones. So if it weren't for these, I wouldn't realize what my preference is, but at the end of the day, I think I prefer the L'Oreal formula just slightly more. I have another Buxom gloss that made in the honorable mentions, and this is Buxom Dolly. It's a gorgeous, gorgeous gloss. I'll swatch it right above the Hush Hush, or the Hot Toddy gloss. And you can see that it's got more of that mauve undertone, and this one's that more brown undertone. So it's such, I mean, it's a toss-up, but I think I just prefer those kind of warm undertones on me just slightly more. So that's why I ended up going with Hot Toddy over Dolly, but I love Dolly as well. And like I said, I really do have a preference for those warm undertone lipsticks. So this one was one from Lorac in the shade Autumn. I don't even know if you can get this one anymore either. I got this a while back in like a little lipstick crayon set one day. I don't, maybe like 2 years ago, but this is it right here. So you can clearly see it's very warm, kind of like that bricky undertone to it, terracotta almost. But I do think that this is just a little bit dark for what I would normally pull for and wear. So that's why I ended up going with the Buxom liner under it, just because I thought that the liner is something that I know how to work with. I know I can sheer it out, and it's a little bit more versatile than this product is. So that's why this one is only landing in the honorable mention pile. I only have 2 more to talk to you about. One of them is a newer product to me, which is probably the only reason why it's ending up in the honorable mention, is because I don't quite know it well enough yet to put it into the like keep in the 10 products pile. But this is a sheer like luster finish from MAC in the shade Jubilee. Swatch right there, and I love it. I think it's such a unique lip product. It looks like it's going to be more cool tone in the packaging, and it kind of can, like if I work it right, it looks more cool tone, but at the same time if I wear it over like a warmer tone like lip liner or something, it looks more warm tone. It's such an interesting color. It makes me very curious about this luster formula because I really, really like it so far. But honestly, the only reason why I didn't land in the top 10 yet is because I feel like I don't quite know it yet. Like I haven't reached for it enough for it to be a favorite yet, even though I can tell that I'm in love with that formula already. So the last one here is Buxom in the shade Dolly again. And this, I'm totally impressed with this formula. It's just that this color isn't one that I tend to reach for a ton. Swatch right there. I picked this light pink over it because it's just easier to wear. But honestly, this one is such a beautiful color, such a beautiful shade, that I really would miss it if I had to only keep 10 products. But I think it just isn't a shade that I wear that often because I don't wear those mauvey cool tone shades as often. But good God, if it's not one of the most beautiful formulas. And this is one that when I wear it, I do get a ton of compliments on this like lipstick. So it makes me very curious to try Buxom lipsticks in the future, more of them. I found this one at TJ Maxx, but I would definitely try Buxom like lipsticks in the future because this formula is super comfortable and nice, and the color payoff is like, it's there, but it doesn't feel thick. You know, like sometimes you can, even my Bite Beauty one, the caramel color, even that sometimes if my lips aren't properly hydrated, I can feel like, ooh, that looks a little thick and I have to blot it. This one I've never had to worry about that. It's just that my color preference is for that warm undertone just slightly more than it is that cool undertone. So that is everything for today's video. Let me know in the comments if you know for sure any product that you would put into your only keep 10 pile if you were doing that kind of thing. And make sure you say hello, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.